Life in the wild can be brutal, but surprisingly can blossom unexpected friendships as well. Here are our top 10 unexpected animal friendships. Our first video, we see the friendship between Bubbles and Bella, an elephant and a dog. Here we see them having fun splashing in the lake. Bella hops on Bubbles' back just to leap off into the water. Or Bubbles will sometimes toss Bella's ball and Bella will go fetch. The friendship was born out of the two loves for the water. Bubbles was adopted as an ivory orphan by the Myrtle Beach Safari. Bubbles grew from 300 pounds to 9,000 pounds, and as she grew, so did her love for swimming. In 2007, a contractor was hired to build Bubbles a swimming pool, and this would be the moment that her and Bella would meet, as Bella was an abandoned puppy. The pool and eventually the river presented an opportunity for the two, and after their meeting, they became inseparable. They are often playing a game that Bubbles invented, where she'll let people on her head and she'll either toss you into the river or let you jump off so she can pick you up again. The two don't just swim together, they take walks together as well. Sometimes Bella would even rest on Bubbles' head while she walks around. Our next video sees a chimpanzee named Anjana, who takes care of wild feline cubs at the Institute of Greatly Endangered Species in South Carolina. It was there that the chimp adopted Mitra and Shiva, two tiger cubs who lost their mother and survived a hurricane. Anjana has been feeding them and providing them with the affection and cuddle they need from a mother. We can see Anjana feeding the babies and playing outside with them. You can clearly see the three of them love each other very much. Aside from tigers, Anjana has also raised lions and leopards. She assists her zookeeper, China York, in her care for the tigers, bottle feeding them milk, keeping them company, and playing with them. Anjana has picked up cub raising tricks from her zookeeper, mimicking how China looks after cubs and repeats the same thing cats do herself. And thanks to her thick skin, keeping her protected when the big cats play a little rough. So Anjana will jump in to help and provide a plethora of motherly love to these precious cat babies. A wombat and a kangaroo? Did you ever expect such a strange companionship? Well, Wally the wombat and Buggy the kangaroo are here to show you that it doesn't matter what species you are. Their bond is undeniable. Holly Harris, founder of Lindaway Farm, a wildlife animal rescue in Australia, found Wally on the side of the road, who had just lost his mother. 2 months after Buggy the kangaroo soon appeared, after he was found hiding in bushes at the local golf course. Having both lost their mothers at a young age, the two bonded instantly. Guess you could say it was love at first sight, as the two are barely seen apart during their time at the sanctuary. The two often took naps together, and like two peas in a pod, when it's time for bed, they'll sleep in a hammock together. What better way to spend your downtime in Lindaway Farm? Aside from naps, the two would eat together and groom each other. And I don't know what's up with Wally's ear, but Buggy can't seem to resist it. Buggy would often be nipping on Wally's ear, loving the taste. And while the two were finally healed and released back into the wild, I believe we can all say the two will never forget each other. Well, if you thought that friendship was something, wait till you meet Moo the kitten and Duke the skunk. That's right, a friendship between a kitten and a skunk. Rudy, a black and white cat, had given birth to a litter of 4 black and white kittens, but an adorable little skunk named Duke wants to join the family and become the 5th member. And while Rudy is accepting of this, it seems Moo isn't quite that happy with the comparison, even going as far as to try and roll little Duke out of the bed. As the two grew up together, Moo developed a more competitive nature, while Duke is more carefree. When Duke developed more faster than the kittens, Moo became determined to not be outdone by his brother. Turning everything into a competition, like brothers do, Duke was able to walk much quicker than Moo, but Moo could climb up the stairs and Duke couldn't. This didn't bother Duke one bit as he continued playing downstairs. Moo, however, felt lonely by himself. Having won, he still wanted to play with everyone and went downstairs to join his brother Duke. And this was when their bond as brothers started to grow. But as they grew, Duke was becoming aware of certain problems. Duke growing claws was making it difficult for him. That was until Moo decided to show him how useful his claws could be in helping him reach new heights. Thankfully, Duke shows his love by hugging his brother Moo. Secret World is a wildlife rescue center that has cared for over 3,000 sick, injured, and orphaned wild animals. In 2007, they rescued an otter. However, Secret World weren't able to care for other otters at the time, and he ended up being placed with some badger cubs. The badgers quickly accepted the otter into their home, welcoming him with open arms. In the next video, you'll see the otter and badger enjoying a nice sunny day together. The otter wandering around the field with his badger friend right behind him. Next we have Maisie the tortoise and Owen the baby hippo. In this video, you can see the two of them eating and walking together. The two live in Holler Park, Bamburi, Kenya, and quickly became the subject of media attention. The friendship started when Owen was put in the only tanker available, which was also home to Maisie. Everyone thought the two would simply coexist and be responsible for nurturing him, but that wasn't the case. It turns out Owen had adopted the tortoise. With no adult hippos teaching him, Owen turned to the tortoise for guidance. Starting out, Owen would watch and mimic what Maisie would do, following him around and eating what he eats. Soon the pair were even able to communicate with each other, with Maisie letting Owen know when it was time to take a swim. Pretty sure Maisie knew Owen needed a bath, so he made sure to teach him how to bathe first. As time went by, Owen eventually grew too large to safely interact with Maisie. Sadly, the two had to be separated. They built a new enclosure for Owen and a female hippo named Cleo, and they bonded very quickly. With Owen on his way to being with the other hippos, Maisie was returned to his enclosure. Though they're no longer a part of each other's lives, I'm sure the two will never forget each other. In South Africa, a wild baby elephant became an orphan. They took Themba to a wildlife reserve and hoped one of the other elephants would adopt and nurse him. But during his first week there, he was left alone and needed to be rescued again and brought back to Shamwari. Baby elephants are very emotional creatures, and when Themba lost his mother, it was difficult to feed him while he was grieving. It was then that they decided that he needed a companion. Enter Albert, a sheep. Now at first the two weren't what you call friends, with Themba chasing Albert around the pen. But after a full day, the awkward situation became comfortable, and as time went by, Themba started to drink milk and even took walks with Albert. They would even play and sleep together as well. Ah yes, good old dirt naps. And what's better than dirt naps? A good old dirt bath. And Albert even joined in. This odd couple quickly grew inseparable. Thanks to Albert's presence, Themba was making a full recovery and started doing more activities outside like eating all day. But just as Albert was helping Themba, he was also learning from him as well. Well, copying him. They shared almost the same diet, and Themba even shares his favorite snacks with him, acacia pods. Albert even became a bit overprotective of him. The team's main goal was to get Themba back into the wild, and it seems that goal is growing closer and closer every day. They say if you are the first thing a duckling sees when it hatches, it'll think you are its mother. I wonder if that was the case here, as Jojo, the capybara, is seen taking care of ducklings and chicks. Every day you can see Jojo accompanied by a few chicks and swimming with the ducklings. Tale as old as time, or is it? Normally, seals and dolphins would be rivals in the open sea fighting over fish, but as fate would have it, these two would instead become the best of friends at Pet Porpoise Pool Marine Park, located in Coffs Harbour, Australia. Jet and Miri met as babies and struck up an early friendship, as told by pool specialist Amy Carter back in 2012. Whenever Jet saw Miri walking by, he would stick his head out of the pool and say hi and even wave. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh, wait, you heard that joke already? Well, have you heard of these three animals becoming the best friends this world has ever seen? The BLT, as some would refer to them. During a police raid back in 2001, in a dealer's house down in the basement, the police came across these three terrified, malnutritioned, and parasite-ridden cubs that definitely do not belong in a trap house, or any house for that matter. The African lion Leo had been stuffed in a tiny crate with an open infected wound on his nose. The tiger Shere Khan was emaciated, and Baloo the bear was wearing a harness so small it became embedded into his flesh, and surgery was needed to have it removed. During the process, it was the first time the three had been separated, and needless to say, Leo and Shere Khan became extremely agitated because of it, vocalizing for the return of their lost family member. With Baloo returning, the three had since then been together. Finally freed from their nightmare, the BLT trio would spend every day playing together, eating and sleeping, hardly quarreling at all. The Noah's Ark Animal Sanctuary had taken them in, And there was where they lived out the rest of their days on a beautiful 250-acre property. Shere Khan the tiger was the most mischievous of the trio, always pouncing on Baloo and Leo. Shere Khan also seeks out affection the most and numerous times throughout the day. He rubs heads and grooms his brothers. Leo the lion was very stoic and enjoys napping on the porch of his clubhouse. Even though he seemed lazy, Leo turns into a different cat during enrichment time and is always the first to grab a toy or explore a new scent. Baloo the American black bear was a very confident and relaxed bear, and he would do anything for a sweet treat. The three of them spent a good 15 years together enjoying each other's company. Leo and Shere Khan spent the rest of their lives with Baloo before finally passing away respectively in 2016 and 2018. Baloo was there for both burials and a constant presence in their final days. And while everyone at the sanctuary is heartbroken over their deaths, they're making sure Baloo knows he is never alone. This is a tale of a friendship that survived through the worst of it and overcame many hardships. This wonderful story has touched many hearts, and hopefully will touch many more as the years go by. Rest in peace, Leo and Shere Khan.